Welcome, one and all, to another episode of THRS Deep Cuts. I'm Andrew.
Tim.
We're here on a Thursday night. It's been a bit of a rush to get through things this week. We just finished filming a clip show a minute ago, but we're here to have a lot of fun tonight talking about the latest from, what do we got here? We got Every Time I Die and the Sonic Overlords. We're going to talk about a little classic from Mortal Sin as well. Got some new singles from Devil Electric, Battle Beast, and Dragonforce. Chat about and a few other bits and pieces as well. But for all those things and more, check out the post or the description of this one. All the links you need are there. Also links to follow us. So please like, follow, subscribe, get in the comments, say what you think, say hi, whatever, share, whatever. All those little bits of interaction help us get the word of these things out there. And if you'd be so kind, a big thank you to our fantastic sponsors in Squidding, Scrimping, Alt, Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Their details, just like ours, are in the description of this one. So please find them, give them a follow. And if you want to help us out directly, please check out our Patreon page. The link is in there for that too. All the preamble sort of nonsense out of the way. I won't spend too long on that one. We'll get stuck into things very, very soon. Sally's jumped in to say, "What's up, guys?" So good to see you here again, Sally. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, we're here to do another week. But before we do that, it's just Tim and I tonight, but we'll do the rounds quickly. How are you going? How's your week going, Tim?
Yeah, it's doing all right. Just keeping cool for some part of today and keep trying to warm up now.
Yep. It's a bit like that, isn't it?
Yeah, typical. But it's been weird, like seeing cars out in the middle of the night and being able to finish work late and not feel like I have to go home straight away. It's like I can just relax and it's been weird. An adjustment, but normal.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing about life, getting back to it, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah. Yourself?
Yeah, busy week this week. I was telling you guys before, because Dave did the clip show for us, but he wasn't able to do the stream tonight, but submitted a whole lot of stuff to the TV networks this week. So if you're watching on Channel 44 in Adelaide on Sunday night, so actually Halloween night, we're actually on about 10:30 p.m. local time over there for a half-hour little segment we did there for their little special episode. I had to submit all the stuff for the marathon on Saturday night as well, and the stuff for Channel 44 for next week. So I was submitted close to 8 hours worth of television this week on top of everything else, and had one of our kids had a birthday, so we were out for dinner last night, which is the first time driving home after curfew and I don't know how long for me. And beyond that, doing little things around the house to get ready for Halloween this weekend and getting decorations. And the lawnmower broke down last time. We got a new one, so I was breaking that in and just sort of like doing all the things. You sit there and go, fuck, like we were saying it before to each other. It's like you have one of those weeks where you sit there and go, how the hell do I have actually time for a day job when you've got a week off and it's just fucking chaos? So it's been a bit like that, but it's good. I'm getting toward the end of it now, and there's a long weekend coming up anyway, which sounds funny considering I'm working from home at the moment, but it's just like it'd be nice to sort of do a bit of downtime, have a bit of fun. But we're here tonight to do another stream, have some fun. Daniel has joined us as well, saying evening also. Thank you for jumping in and saying hi. Appreciate it. It's always good to get the company here. And just for the record, if you're tuning in on Instagram, we can't see the comments that you're leaving on this platform here via Instagram because there's a third-party connection. It doesn't go through. So if you do want to get involved in the comments, Instagram, unfortunately, is not going to work. You'll have to jump into one of the other platforms. So choose it. You've got Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. They're all there, all going. So pick a platform like Instagram says.
We do love you all on Instagram anyway.
Yeah, love people tuning in, whatever platform they're on. It's just that if you want to comment with us, I just can't see them because we haven't got the actual software to do the job for that, unfortunately. But if you, whatever, we'll see how we go with it. But just so everyone knows it, because we did have some people commenting last time. Andrew was saying he was commenting on Instagram and we don't see them. So I want to make sure people are aware of that before we get stuck into things as we proceed along. But yeah, everything's good. Just another week, and now it's time to get stuck into more stuff because we've got to clear up this week because tomorrow is a massive release list. It's huge. It's a big week of music coming up with what's dropping tomorrow. So check it out. Post in the THRS Lounge, our Facebook group, if you want to know more about that. But anyway, in the post in the comments now, I'm going to put a little link in there for the new single from Melbourne band Devil Electric, which is called Take the Edge Off. So this is the new single from the Melbourne band Devil Electric. Take the Edge Off is the song, and there is a clip there linked in the comments or in the description. And if you can't find it there, just look for on YouTube or wherever else. Devil Electric, Take the Edge Off is what you're going for. So we're going to start getting into the hard rock happenings, and that's our first sort of new single to chat about out of the 3 tonight. So, Tim, what do you make of it?
It's very thick and very fat with a great vocal melody, which is what you'd expect from Devil Electric. Actually, they're a really good band, and the way they do business is admirable, because they never really released dud tracks. So, as to be expected from this band, this is well worth a listen, and we're getting new material, like a longer release as well, aren't we?
Yeah, an album in November. I think about November 12-ish kind of an area. I think it is. Yeah.
That's a good lead-in for that. And I'm looking forward to it. And to be honest, I mean, if you're a fan of this show, then you'll probably be into Devil Electric.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I was happy to get the new track, because when I got the email, I was like, okay, awesome, because I wasn't sure, because Christos is obviously with the Ugly Kings as well, which makes him very, very busy, because they've just signed to a major label deal. And I wasn't sure what had happened to Devil Electric with him and that sort of stuff in that space. So it's good to know there's more music out now, and there's more coming with the album in early November. So I'm stoked, because we loved the last album. It was fantastic. This one here, I like how it's a little more riff-based, got a bit more groove. It's not quite as doomy as the previous stuff wasn't. I like the previous stuff, but I just like the way this one has a bit of a vibe to it. And it might be just this track. It's a short one. It's a bit over 2 minutes, this one. But I really enjoyed the way this felt. If you like things anywhere from Black Sabbath to modern day Lucifer kind of a thing, this is going to feel pretty good to check out. I love the riff. The fuzz is just right, not overdone too. So Christos' tone is beautiful, and I love the vocal. The vocal is fantastic on this, and her tone along with the rhythm and the hook and the chorus is really infectious, really cool. So I don't know. I like the video as well, for the matter. Like the watercolor effect they had going on, because the way they put it together was they had to film what they were doing at home, and then they sent it to someone else who added all the watercolor effects to it, like frame by frame, and rendered it. So it's fucking a lot of work's gone into this one. It's only a 2-minute long clip, but fuck, I'm glad it was only 2 minutes, because I can imagine the amount of hours went into the rendering process, which is just nuts. But it's a really cool clip, really good little one. And if you're tuning in on not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday night on Channel 31, it'll be on there, I'm sure, as the broadcast of that too. So I'll stick that on telly soon for everyone. But yeah, that's a really cool track. I really did enjoy it a lot. And if that's a taste of what's on the album, I'm looking forward to that as well. And just in time to possibly be a top 10 contender coming in at that time of the year as well. Nice recency bias is going to kick in too. So we'll have that one to contend with in a couple of weeks, or a couple of weeks. Jesus Christ, this year's flying by.
Not long.
I didn't even think about it. Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. Okay. Anyway. All right. So Daniel said he was getting onto it, and he's gone, reminds me of Tequila Mockingbird. Love it. That's cool. I like that. It's a nice little take on things there. Sue Maletha's jumped in saying, giving us the horns as always. So that's cool. Lee's gone, enjoyed the vocals, top quality tune. So yes. And thank you for joining us tonight as well. And Sally said, yep, liked it. Very gritty, like the fuzz and distortion voice, the clip, very artsy, cool stuff. So all around, it's a win-win-win so far. If you like it, then make sure you keep an eye out for the album coming in a couple of weeks. So there's that one. All right, on to that one. That's the Aussie one done. Now we're going to go to a couple of more bombastic, sort of more European releases. So first things first, we're going to go to a band called Battle Beast. They have just dropped Master of Illusion. They've got another album coming out soon as well. I think it might be early next year. I might be wrong on that one, but it's not too far away either way. I get them and the other band confused. There's fucking heaps going on at the moment. But anyway.
Battle Beast, Beast in Black.
Yeah, Beast in Black have another one coming soon too. So I think it might be them first and then Battle Beast next year. I think that's right.
We really need some diversity in names.
Yeah, and it's funny because those two bands sort of fucking, they cross over with each other pretty nicely as well. So I was like, okay, here we go. All right. But anyway, this is Battle Beast with Master of Illusion. It's a brand new single from the band. And Tim, how'd you go with this one?
It does remind me a lot of Beast in Black.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember doing that Beast in Black album, and it was like, 6 hours into a taping or whatever, and
yeah, it was when we did things that way.
It was like the flute solo.
Yes,
but this one is not quite flute solo level, but it is almost kind of flute solo level because it's very it's very folksy and very poppy with like a metal riff behind it, which is, I mean, if that's your thing, cool. I mean, but for me, I feel like it's a little bit of an acquired taste.
Yep.
Which, I mean, that's not
But
to say it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, there's obviously a market for it. I think Dave likes this band, yeah?
Yeah, Dave loves these.
Well, there you go. So, I mean, there is a market for it. It's just, I'll reserve judgment once I hear the full album. Let's put it that way.
Yep, fair enough.
But I mean, if you don't like folk metal, then this is definitely not for you.
Yeah. Just quickly jump into the comments here. So Daniel said before we got him into Tequila Mockingbird. So cheers, great band. They were fucking fantastic. There's a new sort of side project coming out soon enough. I think they've got some new music in the works. We'll see how it goes with them, but we'll keep you all up to date, obviously, with that coming on. And TC, he's joined us tonight, so thank you for jumping into the stream. He's gone, hi, guys, that Beast in Black review was my fault. Sorry. That's right, it was too. It was a choice from him. But that's all good, mate. We enjoyed it. They're always fun to do. Look, this one, it's very much the European stuff where it's ABBA metal kind of a thing where you've got the constant, the drumming with the hi-hat kind of thing going on and the syncopation there, and that's all the way through the song. And during the verse, the guitar riff is really cool, but then in the chorus, the synth just drowns it out. So I'm a little bit concerned about where that's going to take the album, because it's like if this is going to be really sort of drum and synth-based and with the soaring vocal kind of thing, it's going to get a little bit too poppy for me. But I don't mind the song, and also credit where due, the video itself is fucking wonderful. The way they've cut this together and the lighting involved and stuff. I know it's all, technical speak and stuff, but this actually has a really good narrative and it's told a really cool story. I mean, Noura's voice is fantastic in this one, as always. The performances are great. It's a solid song, and there's a nice little solo in this one as well. It is going to come down to taste, though. If you don't like the more boppier kind of rock to metal kind of thing, like I said, ABBA metal is where it sort of is a term that kind of fits this one, then it's... Yeah, okay, we'll see how we go. But I didn't mind this one personally. I think the song itself is good, but we'll see what the album does because I'm a little bit concerned at the balance between the synth and the guitar. But that's just me on taste. I'm sure that Dave will tell me to, stick that where the sun don't shine when he gets around to reviewing the album in due course. Anyway, but we'll see what happens with that. Got some comments here. Lee has gone thumbs down, cheesy. So there we go. But then, damn, Beast in Black.
There's a lot of cheese there.
There is a lot of cheese in it, but Daniel's also said, damn, Beast in Black, worth a deeper look. Rock on, fellas. Awesome. Cool. There's a few little ones there. Daniel said, ABBA metal just fucked it for me. So, well, sorry about that. Just, if you listen to it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah. Sally's gone. She has a powerhouse voice. It's interesting, but generally not my slice of the pie. It's a Dave band, I think. For me, it's more operatic Euro metal than folk metal, which I kind of agree on that one as well. But if you like her voice, she did a duet album with the singer from Smackbound, and that was pretty cool. We did review that one, so go and check it out as well. But yeah, Noura's got a great voice. She's got a lot of power and talent. So yeah, hopefully we get a bit more of. We do get a bit. She's good anyway. I'll leave it there. Daniel's gone joking. I do hear it though. Yeah, it's the beat in the song for me that does it. But we're gonna go from that to a band that I thought would be more like what we got from the song just gone to one that it's just sort of surprised me with how sort of more direct it is in a few respects. So in the comments, in the description, as always, these links are always going there. So the band is Dragonforce and the new single is Strangers. So there's a video for that. You'll want to watch the video for this one as well because that's kind of required, I think, for this one. But Tim, how did you go with Dragonforce and the new song Strangers?
Oh man, you gotta strap yourself in for the video. Grab your favorite beverage and perhaps some popcorn and enjoy. Yep. Because it's so tongue in cheek. Like it's incredible. Like they've taken the piss out of like 80s glam metal with but they've done it while making an 80s glam metal song.
Yeah, which
they're making fun of them. It's as if like they wrote a song for a joke and they went like, actually, you know what? It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like they wrote a joke song and then decided, oh, okay, we have to release it now because it's not bad.
Yeah.
Man, hey, look, if it works for him, credit to him. Because I mean,
yeah,
I think Dragonforce kind of got pigeonholed in sort of what style they kind of play.
yeah.
So this could like I mean, for all I know, this could expand their borders a little bit. So I mean,
Yep.
it's a great. It's to be fair, it is a very good song, and the film clip is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth a look.
Yep. Yeah, like you, like Dragonforce for me are a band that have been pigeonholed, and they haven't done themselves any favors in that regard either, because they've just gone completely bombastic with the amount of guitar and drum stuff they've got going on in their songs most of the time. So I've tended to struggle with their stuff up till now. It hasn't been for me per se, but this song, yeah, the 80s is strong with it. We just had Nesta last week or on Monday. I forget when we reviewed that one now. But there's a lot of this 80s revival stuff going on at the moment. There's a comment here I'll get to in a second, that one from Sumaleth. But there's a lot of it going on, and because there's so much of it now, it's the whole In Vogue thing. So you've got to be good at it now. If you can't just pass off and have the nostalgia, kick in for you anymore, you've got to actually be good, because there are bands doing a really good job of it. And these guys did a pretty good job. The song itself is interesting. I mean, I think there's probably like other bands, like Nesta's 1989 song is probably the single best one of this sort of genre I've heard for a while. But this song's pretty cool, and the video itself, though, is what makes it. Like the whole dancing against the arcade machines, or from the 80s, and that is, and it's so tongue in cheek. It's not funny, but and the hair and the wigs and stuff like they've gone all out on just completely.
Even little things like the guitars aren't plugged in.
Yeah.
80s clips have never had plugged in guitars.
Yeah.
And then they started out with real drums, and then they went to electric drums like halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
Like little details like that were just spectacular.
Yeah, they did themselves a huge win in my mind with the actual crafting of the video itself. So I think that's a great cut through element. It's one of those ones where we might try and run it on the TV show sometime soon, but I don't know. But it's really cool. The video itself is worth a watch. The song itself is well done too. It's just an 80s hard rock kind of song, but for me it's different, because normally they're going a million miles an hour, and this was a bit of a change of pace. It's like, okay, cool. I'm curious what they're going to do next if they're doing a song like this. So it makes me much more curious to check out what's happening with the next one, because like you said, this is one where they're stepping out of the box a little bit. So hopefully it broadens the overall horizon. It's not just 55 minutes of just nonstop going for it. So
that's what I mean. We'll find out if Dragonforce are opening their borders, or it was just a joke song that they wrote and then liked.
Yeah, it's true. But if they're going to go down this path, the band name is perfect for it. So.
Oh yeah, no, they're good musicians. So.
There's not a question of talent. It's just a question of taste with these guys. But yeah, they were got a few comments here, which is going to be interesting to go through in a second. But yeah, I did enjoy it. The video itself is probably more interesting than the song per se, but the song's well done. So check it out. Give us your thoughts as we go along. But yeah, here we go. Got to give a shout out to Tim C on this one. TC, thank you for bringing it to my attention. I didn't know about this one until he put it into our Patreon post. So he's gone, how cool is the video? 80s cheese at its best, which is exactly what it is. But thank you for bringing it to us. I do appreciate it. Lee said, more cheese. Agree with him that the video rocks, which is cool. And this is the question I was getting to before. Sumaleth has asked, has there been a lot of tongue-in-cheek metal lately, or has there always been this much? I think there's always been a bit, but there's more now. What do you think, Tim? I think it's a Vogue thing at the moment.
It depends on whether or not you took it seriously or not.
Well, yeah, okay, that's true. Good point.
Like, I mean, okay, how do I put this? Nobody read the Cannibal Corpse lyrics and took it seriously.
True. Yeah.
Nobody. I mean, we've seen Judas Priest live. I mean, we know it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Same with Steel Panther for that matter. If you're going to go down this road.
Exactly. I mean, we're all having fun anyway. We're just sometimes having a little more fun than others.
Yep. I think there's been a rise in it because it has become it's getting the cash-in effect happening to it now, where people think it's a trend, so they're trying to ride the wave a bit. And I think you can see through those ones pretty quickly. The ones that are doing it because they're genuinely having fun or they're influenced enough by it to pull it off, that's, you know, they're fun. You can tell some of it is just outright cheese, but some of it's just a lot of fun at the same time. We're getting a lot more of it too, but also because of, I think someone mentioned Frontiers, which I'll get to in a comment in a second, but labels like that have also pushed this kind of stuff a bit as well with the way they put people together to work on projects and that. So it has become a vibe for now. We'll see how long it lasts for. It's interesting that this sort of music is taking, you know, or getting more popular again in the context of things. So if we're seeing that, you know, it was a 20-year cycle, then became a 30-year cycle, maybe it's becoming more like a 40-year cycle is sort of kicking around. Who knows?
It could be even as something as simple as people who grew up in the 80s are now, let's put it as their sort of peak earning power now.
Yeah. Yep.
So they're more likely to, and as a result, we're seeing more of it.
But also now we're getting kids, younger bands that have been brought up by parents from the 80s as well, which is a crossover element too. I think that's a part of it as well.
A little bit scary.
Well, yeah. Yep. I see it with my kids all the time. It's interesting to watch that play out. But anyway, watch on Saturday night for one of our kids to make her TV debut on Saturday night. Anyway, we'll get some comments on this one. We've had a bit there. What else here? Lee said hair metal version of Herman Lee just doesn't do it for me. I was thinking Rod and Jeremy myself watching that video, but all right.
I thought hair metal Herman Lee was all right. Daniel says, for a while I thought they were a joke band, Halloween tryhards. I don't know about that. I just thought that they were a bit sort of nuts with what they were doing musically, but they're talented as fuck. Lee also says blame Frontiers Records for the 80s cheese revival, and that's a thing there with what they're doing in that regard, to which we had a reply from Daniel saying, true, that money. Sally says, oh, for fuck's sakes, the whole world of Nope, it's piss take. Yeah, but still painful for me. You need to take a break every couple of seconds, hold on and think of your happy place to listen and make it through the whole song. So that was torture for Sally. Watch the show on Saturday night, Sally. You'll be happy with that one. Nicole's gone, howdy also. Thank you for joining us over on YouTube. Good to see you here again with us. And Sally's gone, no, it's all for fun, but Sparkle Metal fucking sucks. Yeah, she's not a fan of it. We know that one, but that's all good. Tim's gone. Yeah, there's plenty of current pop bands cashing on the 80s sound as well. That's true. It's just proof the 80s was the superior decade. That's going to cause a fight. But that'll be an interesting topic at some point, I think. There we go. Daniel says, it put bums on seats, Steel Panther, fake as shit, great songs. And that's the thing too. If they're good enough to write good songs, ultimately that's what's most important. Because if they write shit songs, it's not going to matter anyway. So the other thing is too, there's like the unique thing with heavy metal in the 80s is that they were able to cross over into a mainstream audience.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like I don't think you're never going to see like a mainstream Pantera revival because they just never crossed over into a mainstream audience.
Yeah.
You know, you might like, I mean, we all saw the like, we've all seen the thrash metal revival where we had bands like, you know, Municipal Waste and Avile and all that.
Yeah.
But again, that was never mainstream. So that's I wonder why. That's I think what part of the reason why we've got it is that you can sort of play both sides of it when you do that hair glam, you know, Sunset Strip sound.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that might tie into this comment here, actually, because Man Family have jumped in on YouTube to say, good to see you. Thank you for joining us as well. And cheers for the Patreon membership too. On Dragonforce, also note, not every 80s glam rock band was not across all bands. It's just taking the stereotypical rocker vibe. And that's a thing there as well. You are getting a lot of that happening in a lot of things, not just, like Tim said before, the pop stuff too. It's coming through a lot. Like, yeah, there's a bit of a thing going on, a bit of a revival of sorts of different things over the years, which is not bad at all. But yeah, it's interesting to watch it play out. We'll see how far it goes. That's the next question. We'll see what happens.
Well, maybe in 3 years' time we're going to get the grunge revival and we'll forget about that.
The thing is that these little mini waves will come in little shorter cycles. I reckon that's the thing about it. The funny thing about it, the melodic rock kind of thing or the melodic metal, is that it's actually had a bit more staying power than most of the short-term little recycles that go through. But we'll
that's
see what
it.
Happens. Daniel says 52. Enjoy the roller coaster. We're back, baby. Hairspray and all, mate. If you can do the hairspray at 52, you're fucking my idol. So there you go. So because I'm not there yet, but I got more than enough hair to keep me going. I don't need any fucking hairspray. Actually, that'd be funny because you've been talking about Sumaleth goes yo-yo revival before grunge. That'd be cool. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing that. And with platforms like TikTok, that's actually a chance. But
I was thinking the other day, like, when was the last time you saw a yo-yo?
I haven't seen one for a while, but I reckon
it's been years.
They'll kick back over though. I reckon.
I'm not sure they will.
No, I reckon they will.
No, I don't think they will.
So
I think yo-yos and slinkies are thing.
Slinkies will come back. All these things are cheap to produce. That's the thing. That's why they'll come back.
Yeah, but remember, we got bottle flipping, a few years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
So that when in order to get people off their phones, you got something really simple like bottle flipping.
Yeah.
Why would you buy a yo-yo?
Yeah, the things you can do. All right. Changing gears here on that one. Baby metal, anyone saying for a mate? So that's there. Tim doesn't mind a bit of baby metal.
I do like baby metal.
Yeah. And
but again, they're not a band to be taken seriously.
Yeah, that's it. Lee's also maybe Penelope Spheris should make a sequel to Decline of Western Civilization. That'd be interesting to go back to that now, revisit that whole concept. Be interesting. There's a few actually pretty cool documentaries out and about it there. If you're interested.
Well, the one to go back on is the big bearded guy from the 18th century. But that's the German philosopher who wrote in England.
Yes. Yep. All right. Let's go to our little topic of discussion before we get to the actual hot topic, which is a bit of fun. So in a bit of advance notice, we're going to get your feedback in a minute before we get through this little chat here. Daniel's gone, Chris Holmes looks worse. Yeah, no, he didn't look good to begin with. He's looking pretty bad these days. But we found an article basically putting out there that, people or bands or whatever else are now putting out sort of temporary tattoos as a piece of merch, which is an interesting concept. I did share you the link before, Tim. There's not a lot to read about, but it's just more about the idea of having temporary tattoos as a unit of merch for whatever. What do you think? You're in a band or a couple bands.
Look, it's amazing that we came off talking about slinkies and yo-yos and went to temporary tattoos because I feel like I feel like they're in a similar.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta be totally honest with you, man. I got my first tattoo when I was 19.
Yeah.
I've got two sisters. I was chatting to my sister's partner. He got his first tattoo when he was like 16.
Yeah.
Mel got her first tattoo when she was 19. My youngest sister just turned 18 yesterday.
Wow.
And actually, no, 2 days ago.
Yep.
And she booked her first tattoo yesterday.
Yep. Yep.
So who's getting temporary tattoos? Particularly Korn.
Yeah, that was weird. It was Korn doing it. Yeah.
I mean, if it was, I don't know, Paw Patrol temporary tattoos, I can see that.
Yep. Okay. Disney Channel.
If Emma, who just quit the Wiggle, Emma Watkins wanted to do a post-Wiggles temporary tattoo.
Tramp stamp.
Come on. Actually, you know what? Actually, on that subject, right? Mm-hmm. I feel sorry for anybody who got a tramp stamp just before it became called a tramp stamp.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But if they were, who's getting temporary tattoos these days? I mean,
yeah.
Again, when was the last time? I don't even think they do that at the Melbourne show anymore.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Because Because now they'll even do like airbrush tattoos.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. And you got the
so your rub-on temporary tattoos aren't really that cool, are they? I don't know.
It's weird that Korn are doing it because their market's going to be old enough to get the real thing, and they're probably already covered if they're going to go down that path anyway. See, I mean, in a way, for the younger market, I can kind of see a purpose. For people like me in the 40s, and I've got a sleeve and I've got plans for much more fucking ink. You and I have both got plenty of ink. There's fucking, just go and get the real fucking thing. But the fun part of these ones is that and this is me playing devil's advocate, not that I genuinely believe it's going to be the case, but to play devil's advocate a little bit, I think that it's again tying into the 80s throwback stuff. I think it's also, 90s maybe more, but
that's what's weird about it, is it's not, it's Korn.
Yeah, it's weird. And that's the thing, they're Korn with the 90s, and it's like, I don't get it. But if you wanted to do things like, because I hate face tattoos personally, so if you're going to a gig or a night out and you want to put something on your face, then because to be fair, these ones apparently take a few weeks to rub off, something like it, and they say to wait 24 to 36 hours after you put it on for it to actually settle in. So it's meant to actually look as real as possible, kind of thing. So there's a lot of prep work to sort of go out for this sort of stuff, but I don't know, people might do it. The amount of things that people spend on makeup and all sort of stuff and whatever else, then maybe there might be a market for it. I don't know. But I haven't seen anyone that wants to go down this path just yet. But I don't know. Look, I think that I remember when I was a kid and you get the fake tattoos all the time. That was always fun. Obviously we've got the real thing now, but when I was a kid, they were fun. So maybe it's something you could market for kids, and it might be a slight segue for getting kids to be interested in those bands. But at the same time, then you get the new version of the PMRC, whatever it was, and they'll fucking go off their head about this sort of stuff anyway. So I don't know.
That's what I mean. I understand Paw Patrol tattoos.
Yeah, I understand that sort of stuff. I'm not sure about Korn doing it. Thing is though, if someone like Baby Metal did it, I'd kind of get that more than I get Korn.
See, that I would understand.
Yeah. So there are certain bands I could see it working for, depending on the culture that goes with them. But Korn, not so much. But if Baby Metal did it, I could kind of see it working for them. So it's not as though it's the worst I've ever heard. I just don't think it's right for that band. But depending on the context and who's doing it and how it's marketed, it might come off. I'm not holding a whole lot of hope, but it's an interesting concept, if nothing else. I just haven't seen this before until now that a band might consider doing it. But it's out there. If you're interested, by all means, go and look it up. Just Google Korn fake tattoo, and you'll get there pretty quick. But it's a very interesting one. I'm not sure about that, but got some comments on it here. TC's gone, bands should give out wigs so us bald bastards can have a taste of having long hair one more time. That I could get along with. Like if you're at a Steel Panther show and they're doing the old bullshit wigs you used to get at the Melbourne show, like the multicolored streamer kind of things going on, the bullshit wigs that everyone knows is so full of crap, and it's dirt cheap to buy one for like a few bucks. That's a merch item I think you can get behind. Some fake wig kind of thing, some real bullshit kind of stuff. That'd be kind of, for the demographic we're talking about, that'd be more likely to go off than a fake tattoo. I don't know what you think of that.
I think so.
So, there we go. Daniel's gone, fuck that. Hot oil treatments cost me a fortune. So, yeah, well, that's probably to do with hair as well. Man found I've gone, maybe Frisbees can make a comeback package with new vinyl. That'd be interesting. So, I actually, if you had a full-on printed, because you can do 3D printing in that too, if you had an embossed kind of Frisbee, that wouldn't be a bad one. Interesting.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Not sure. Don't know. Anyway.
I just wondered if it'll work.
I'm not saying it'll work, but at least it's food for thought.
You know what they need, actually? Some death metal band needs to come out with a signature Nerf gun.
I'm just thinking of the marketing aspects of this. You could have things like Bowling for Columbine written along the side of it, but
my initial thought was Cannibal Corpse because they had the guitarist got done with 30 live rounds, 30 live guns in his house, I think.
Yeah. They'd be interesting. A Nerf gun from Death
the Nirvana signature Nerf shotgun.
You can sit there and shoot the baby on the fucking thing, on the artwork. So that'd be an interesting one. All right, we're getting some interesting thoughts going through here. Benjamin.
That's terrible. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Benjamin's going, hey guys, fuck yes, good to see you here again, mate. Thank you for joining us tonight. Sally's gone from corn. It's all a bit too adolescent. It's cute, but a bit goofy. I think a patch or a sticker probably better. That would be better, I think, too. I do agree with that. A patch or a sticker would be more. Benjamin's laughing, going, check out the guy on Instagram called Quest G. Total tattoos over his head and face, even his eyes. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so I got a tattoo from Lucky Diamond
Okay.
Rich, who in the Guinness World Record has been the most tattooed person.
Wow, nice.
There's 100%. Like the holes in his ear stretches, in between his toes, underneath his foreskin, everything.
Fuck that. I mean, I like my ink, but not that much. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, so he's like totally blacked out, and then he's like keeps going over it.
Okay. Yep. All right. I'm with you now.
Yeah, the last time I saw him, had a huge like peacock over his head. Yeah. So.
Okay. If you can put up with the pain and keep doing it, well then okay, fine. But wow.
Yeah, fuck getting in between your toes tattooed. That'd be fucking.
No, fuck that. Fuck that. That's nuts. I wouldn't go anywhere near it. I'm not going to sit here and go, big tough guy. Fuck that for a joke. You can fuck that right off. And it's funny that this comment comes after because Benjamin's gone, the world is a freak show, and yes, it fucking is. So
but at the same time, you know, people enjoy your shit.
Yeah, and that's it. And it always was too. The people think it's more of a freak show now than it ever was. No, we're just sort of seeing. It's easier to see it now than it was before. It's not more fucked up. It's just easier to find it. Benjamin's gone. They end up with a purple hue. They keep colouring it. So yeah, there we go. And then Sumo left time chummy before saying frisbee golf is huge around the world now. And that's true too. There's a bit of a sport thing about that. And also, if you got dogs,
George Costanza's ahead of the curve.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure what that comment's about. All right, cool. Yeah, no, there's a. He was definitely. And you're more of the same. Huh?
That frog.
Oh no, there's one here that says music ? Please. I'm not even sure where that's directed to. I think it might be a reply to a comment. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But Sally's also said, has he got the split tongue too? The guy you were talking about before.
He may have, but the thing is, when you got your tongue split, it only lasts about 6 months. So yeah, he may have.
Okay. Daniel's got no more fake tats, more bands. We're getting there in a second. Okay, we're going to get there in just a second. We are moving on. But because I've had fuck all time to prepare this week, I've been very, very busy while we do the segue in a very abrupt way, as always. We wanted to do a thing here because we've got some tight deadlines coming up for TV production. I've got about, 4 weeks, you reckon, Tim, to get things done for TV for the year now? So December becomes a thing where we have to put everything into nice and early, get it all prepped and done and released, ready to go for the content to be uploaded to the service. So if you've got any ideas for a theme that you'd like us to sort of stick with for a TV broadcast, now's the time to let us know. Get in the comments. Let us know a theme. Something, it could be fun. You can try and challenge us. It can be whatever it is. Just try and think of a theme that you'd like to see us try and accomplish over an hour of television for a bit of fun.
Yeah, so basically, like the television station shuts down over Christmas, so everybody can go over a break. Cool. So we've got to get, that month and a bit worth of TV in before everybody goes on a break. Yeah.
So I think my deadline this year is about 8th of December for memory. Yeah. So it's a bit early this year. So.
Yeah, so if there's anything that you want us to do during that time, let us know, because it's a quiet time for releases at that time of year anyway.
Yep.
So let us know, and we'll pick the best ones or the most popular ones or whatever it may be.
We'll see what we can do in that regard. And also, while we're doing this sort of stuff, we just figured we'd get out there and say to people, we do these blind drafts and that, which we have a lot of fun with on these different format for these live streams. And that. So if there are any bands you'd like to sort of do drafts with, for our best 10, 15 songs or our best albums or things like that as well, just anything like that. This is like an open platform. Like, give us your thoughts. Have a think about it. Don't have to do it right now, but just give us your thoughts tonight and get in the comments and let us know what you'd like us to try and do, because I'm sure we can have a lot of fun with it. But on the topic of December, we're planning to do our top 10s as probably a live stream this time around. And then we'll also do like a top 10 of the decade kind of special coming up as well. And we're also, well, you want to do the torture thing big time. You want to stream that one as well, don't you, Tim?
I want to do that live as well, because for what we do is we pick albums that piss each other off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which we always have a lot of fun with.
Yeah. Yep. And there will be scope for audience participation in that as well. So if there's as in polling wise. So if you want to let us know an album you'd like to see us do as a torture choice. Now, we don't apply the same rule to the audience. When it comes down to torture, amongst ourselves, it has been an album that we individually like, but we think will challenge the rest of the crew. And then the theme for the audience has generally been just do what the fuck you want to try and torture us, punish us. And we had Yoko Ono on that last year, which is fucking
that album still haunts me.
Yeah, that was so bad. That was really, really bad. So yeah, that's interesting. So there's definite sort of scope there too. So if there's anything you want to try and torture us with, because there'll be a few album slots there to round it out with, get in the comments and get in early and see what we can do in that regard as well. All right, some comments here quickly. Okay. Benjamin's gone. The new Gojira track is killer. Great job, Alien Weaponry, supporting him on the US tour with Knocked Loose. Very nice. Very cool.
Gojira, excellent band.
They are, yes. TC's going into Wasp special. I'm thinking we'll do an actual full-blown 2-hour presentation next year on those guys, because we've only done the Wasp versus Striper special in the past, so we might be able to revisit them more properly over their entire catalog more efficiently, but we'll see how we go with that one. Daniel's got, each week do your metal story. Each presenter gets to tell how he or she got into metal and show us your favorite vids growing up, which would be an interesting one.
Not a bad idea.
That'd be an interesting one there to play with. We'll go back to the old solo episode format that we've done in the past. We haven't done those for a while. That'd be interesting. For a vote, I think Amagama has come from Benjamin Payne, so that's one there for that might be. It's an interesting choice there. It's an album from memory for a while ago. I forget which band did it though, but yeah. And TC is going to be voting for Milli Vanilli in the torture episodes. My God, I fucking
fuck.
Yeah, Benjamin's gone the Limp Sick Kings. Yep, that's them. They're the. Did you ever hear that, Tim? Like, they were so big for so long, and then they got.
I know the Milli Vanilli story.
Yeah.
The thing is, right, I am certain I've heard Milli Vanilli before. I just can't think of any tracks.
Well, that's the thing. They're not entirely memorable now, but the thing is, after that controversy where they got busted lip syncing, they tried to actually do an album with using their real voices and they fucking bombed. It was so bad. So I'm not sure which album TC is going to vote for though with Milli Vanilli. We'll see what happens in that one. So just on foreknowledge there. Yes, that's what it is. Sorry. Benjamin Payne's gone Pink Floyd Amagama. That's right. It's highly effective for torturing friends. Hey, I'm a big Pink Floyd fan, so it's probably not going to do much for me. I'm sorry I didn't jump my job memory then, but yeah, Amagama is old Pink Floyd. Andrew Marshall joining in on YouTube there. Thank you for joining us tonight as well. Good to see you here. Yeah. And Daniel Bateman's gone Priest, Sad Wings of Destiny, the first metal record special. Okay. First metal record special. Interesting sort of concepts there. Okay, cool. Keep them coming. We'll get on to our first review of the night, though, unless there's anything else you want to try and throw into that one there, Tim. Or we're going to
let's do it.
Let's roll on through. All right, cool. First band actually comes to us courtesy of Lee, actually. So thank you to Lee on our Patreon platform. You're here tonight, so you'll be happy to see this one coming through. The band is the Sonic Overlords, and the reference track I've given you all to check out in the comments and in the post is Eternal Heroes. So the band, the Sonic Overlords, the song is Eternal Heroes, and this is going to be our first review of the evening, and I'll get to that comment. Oh, actually, I'll do a comment now quickly. So here's an interesting one too. Lee's gone rock and wrestling episode. Each member dresses up as a favorite WWE star, past or present. That could be interesting.
Oh, shit.
Rock and wrestling crossover. That could be done. That could be done. That's a cool one. I haven't even thought of that before. There we go. We can do that one. Nikki will hate it, but we can do it. So there we go. Yeah, we could do it. That's a possibility. That's made me smile, that one. That's not bad. All right. Anyway, first review of the night is the Sonic Overlords with their album The Last Days of Babylon. This is 10 tracks for 50 minutes. Debut album from the Swedish band, released October 2021 via M Theory Audio. 3 singles have been released from this, including In My Darkest Room and Utopia. There's also a bonus track, Past the End of Time, that features a guest vocal from Tony Martin, formerly of Black Sabbath. Not a lot of other info is easily found on this one, but like I was saying, a big shout out to Lee on our Patreon platform for finding this one and sending it through to us to have a crack at. So, Tim, how'd you go?
I found this one very interesting, and I'm not sure whether I liked it or not. So, so first of all, stylistically, it is very interesting because it does have a lot of roots in that sort of late 60s, early 70s, doomy Black Sabbath kind of metal, but there's also one foot in that sort of 80s style as well. But there is also at times, there's almost like a 90s groove, like a clutch kind of groove as well.
Yeah. Yep.
So stylistically, it is really interesting, and that's what sort of kept me listening through the whole thing. Having said that, at the times, I thought the vocals were forced. I thought they were looking for a melody that wasn't there, and as a result, they kind of oversung at points.
Okay.
And the same thing, I thought the same thing with the composition as well. I thought that they were kind of looking for a track. They were looking for grooves and they were looking for melodies that just weren't there. And the best example of this is World on Fire, where they have that big guitar solo in the middle, then they have the ending bit at the end. And I just thought it was a forced epic track. And I thought there was a lot of that throughout this album, which is a shame because of the style they play. It's such a unique mixture of things. It could have been very interesting. Yeah, it could have been very interesting if they pulled it off. The trouble is that when you kind of mix all those styles around, is that pulling it off can be quite difficult, and because there's no cliche to fall back on, and unfortunately, I mean, I hate to say it, but sometimes the reason they're cliches is because they work. And when you've got, that kind of wild mix of styles, it makes it very difficult to put something cohesive together. And I thought they were looking for that thing, and they just couldn't find it. And the result, you kind of got some overplayed stuff. Having said that, I thought the opening track was my highlights. Can't remember the name of it for now. Utopia?
Sands of Time. Oh, sorry, no, Utopia. Yep, sorry, you're right.
Yeah, Utopia. I thought that was a really good track. Because, again, it really had that nice... clutchy groove with a big chorus, was great guitar tone as well. But there's a lot to like about this. I just didn't think the songs were there. Yeah. But I mean, they were in part there. So it was 6 out of 10. It's definitely worth a listen. It's definitely an interesting concept for a band. I'd love to see them do another album because the formula is there. It just needs polishing.
Okay. Yep. Cool. It's funny. There's more comments. There's some fun comments. I'll get back to those in a second. But just quickly here, Jamie Laws jumped in and say Eternal Hero sounds like it's a song from the Pick of Destiny from Tenacious D, which is an interesting take on things there too. But with you talking about the opening track, Utopia, I've seen other people comment that because I liked the other stuff on the album versus that one, because the first 2 tracks in this one sort of really do sort of give you the 2 extremes of the band at the same time. Like you get the really Sabbathy stuff, and then you get the upbeat stuff as well. So that's the 2 tracks. If you listen to the first 2 tracks on this album, you're going to know whether you like it or not pretty quickly. The opening track was one of the ones I heard some people, because I'm more into the other stuff going on this, so they thought it was a bit too, how do I put it, more accessible. But that at the same time is one of the ones is the one you liked on it, which is not a bad thing.
I've been listening to a lot of Clutch.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot more sense then in that space. For me, this was a lot more doom and stoner rock than I was kind of expecting. It does fit the Black Sabbath vibe. That's a thing there too. But another band that it drew me to think of, and it's not a direct comparison, but there's a little bit of a Kill Devil Hill thing about this one too. I like, if you like Kill Devil Hill, you're going to like this kind of stuff too for mine. It's that sort of sludgy, not sludge metal or anything like that, but it's just got this sort of sludgy groove going on, which is pretty cool. I didn't mind it. But underneath all that, like you were saying, they were trying this melting pot of things where you got this sort of classic rock mixed into this one too, which makes it an interesting sort of clashing was. But I thought they did a pretty good job with it overall. I think if you're a big fan of early Black Sabbath, you'll get a kick out of this one for sure. But it's not a clone. It's a long way from it. Like I'm saying, the classic rock influences sort of really do come through. Like on tracks like Fools, I think that's more of a, like I said before, the opening 2 tracks are going to be the ones to sort of tell you if you like it or not. When you go to the third track, Fools, I think that's going to be where you go, okay, you kind of click and it makes it. I thought that for me was when you get a better feel for who they are as a band, as opposed to the other 2 tracks sort of being one extreme or the other. This one's the one where it's like, that's who they are. The album following that sort of kind of flowed more to that song than the other 2 before it. I think the mix was gritty and worked from overall. That fuzzy sort of bottom end is a really big kick at the bottom end on this too. And the vocals are a bit lower of the lower register too, which meant that the little synth touches that were used sparingly sort of filled that top end. The guitar solos used top end, but everything was sort of mid and bottom end really focused on this one too. They did a good job of not filling it out too hard, so it became clippy and all that sort of stuff too. They did it. They did a pretty good job with it overall in the mix wise, because it would have been really easy to go too hot at this one. They didn't do it, so they backed off enough, which was good. I thought the vocals being back a little bit too helped that to work as well. But there's the middle of the album, World on Fire, which I found funny that you sort of weren't a huge fan of. I thought that was a nice little oasis in the middle of the album because it was more acoustic-y. The reverb was turned up on that one. It sort of really spaced out. I get what you're saying about might have been a bit forced, but for me, in the middle of the album, I thought it was a nice little spot to play into the album craft. So I actually didn't mind that one. I thought because of the little tricks like that, the album flowed pretty well. It didn't feel like a 50-minute listen. It went a bit. It felt like it went by a bit faster than that. You got some upbeat stuff, some slower stuff. This one goes back and forth a bit for the rest of the album after the sort of halfway mark. I think that it's interesting that there's a guest spot here from Tony Martin, who was in Black Sabbath for about 3 albums, and it's funny how him singing on this doesn't really feel out of place. It just sort of fits in. So that's why I say again that the Black Sabbath fans are probably going to be the ones that really jump into this one straight away, because if Tony Martin can just jump in it and feel it and it feels like it's at home kind of thing, you don't really notice it, that it's a guest vocal at the end of the album, well then, yeah, that's where it's kind of at for mine. But that said, I thought it was worth a look for sure. I liked it. It's a bit darker, a bit riffy. If you like that kind of stuff, give it a look. I did enjoy it. I gave it an 8 out of 10. My standouts were Sands of Time, Children of the Night, and also World on Fire. So we got some different opinions there, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like it when we disagree with each other a little bit. It makes it a bit more spicy, which is fun.
Does not happen very often lately.
No, it doesn't, it's pretty cool. I like when we do it. Just going back to the Wrestle Rock comment, we've got some people jumping with suggestions on who they'd like to see us all perform as on that sort of Wrestle Rock, who should dress up as.
Bring it on.
So, yeah, this is fun. So here we go. So Benjamin's gone, Tim, maybe Abdullah the Butcher. For you.
I don't have the blade marks.
Yeah. Is Kamala another one? I don't know. There'd be a few out there. What else we got here? So Nikki, can we have her as a fabulous Moolah from Lee? That'd be interesting. Well, people are saying, Benjamin saying me is Macho Man Randy Savage, perhaps. I don't know about that, but maybe. Might work. And he's just gone, oh, yeah, afterward. On the song, on the album, quickly here, Daniel's gone.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, now, see if people want to see this, right?
Yeah.
For a long time, we were kicking around the idea of doing a band as part of the Hard Rock Show.
Yeah, we were. Yep.
And the gimmick was we were going to play wrestling covers of wrestling entrance songs.
Yep.
Would people want to see that?
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? If we got up on stage, because we've all got some sort of musician ability amongst us. We can all play or sing or do whatever in some way, shape, or form. Some of us are better at it than others, but we've all got some sort of ability. So
I know Byron's pretty keen to sing "Sexy Boy."
Okay, because he's good on the. No, he's a vocalist, isn't he? He's pure vocal.
Yeah, he's a singer.
Yeah. Nick is guitars. Mick and you are drums. Brendan's guitar. Dave's guitar. Also,
One of us can pick up a bass.
I can pick up a bass. I used to teach guitar. I'm a rhythm player, so I can pick up the bass. But I can sing a bit too from time to time. I haven't done it for a long time though, so it might not be as good as you might want it to be. But
yeah, but they're like sexy boy. We play Triple H's entrance.
Yeah, I can do the
close with Real American.
Yeah. It'd be such a dumb thing to do, but it'd be fucking hilarious, wouldn't it? All right,
you
cool.
don't play real Americans.
Yeah, no, you have to play that. And the thing is, we could do heaps with this too. Like, you get someone to get up and do synth. You can do stuff like the Gangrel theme song and that as well, which is just an instrumental opening kind of stuff. So it'd be like, and also the Ministry Taker theme would be pretty cool as well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That'd be fun to play. It'd be fun to play. I don't know. this is a random segue. Yeah. I'll get back to that. There was only one comment on the album there for now, so it was not for me from Daniel, but now we got the other stuff here. So Sally's gone, no, Nikki is China. Pretty sure Mulo was an alien. So there we go with that one. Benjamin's gone, laugh my ass off. I look like the Undertaker and I don't even need a costume. So there we go with that one. And Sally's gone, really love Taker. No photos, no proof, mister. She says that I would be Edge, which would be an interesting one. I'm not blonde enough for Edge, but okay. I
think Dave's Edge.
Yeah, Dave would be better at that, maybe. Daniel has gone, fucking do it. So there's one person saying for us to do it. Nudes just joined us saying, lads, late to the party. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Doesn't matter when you come in. And Sally's gone, Triple H comes into Motorhead, and that's where we'll talk about the game before. Sexy Boy is so lame. So there we go there. And Darren's gone, just do a Rammstein vocal. Now that I can do. I've got a nice deep voice. That's all right. And Benjamin's gone, it's truth, mate. Stone the Flaming Crow. Dave is Roman. Okay, Roman Reigns, maybe.
Yeah, Dave's just show off their guns first, man.
Yeah, oh, fucking man. If we're gonna go down this path, I'm gonna have to get into shape again because I'm fucking so out of shape. It's not funny, but it'll be fun. All right. So let us know. Here's a thing, a bit of a fun one. If we're gonna do this Wrestle Rock kind of thing, just for a bit of shits and giggles, let us know who should dress up as what and what songs we should play. And so Nudes has gone, no idea what's going on, but have dibs on Al Snow. That's a good call. I like going for broke from the start, so that's all right. The premise here for those joining in.
Yeah, so Nudes, we're going to start a covers band of wrestling entrance music.
For shits and giggles amongst the crew of the show, just for a bit of fun. That's what it was going to be. Lee's gone, I think Andrew is more fitting for Jimmy Hart. I'm taller than him, surely. But
I don't know. Hogan's pretty tall, so.
Yeah, true. Here we go. Benjamin gone, Tim as Mankind. There you go.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Stick the mask on the face and off you go.
I'd love to do that.
Should get Dennis to dress up as Kane.
Yeah.
That would work.
Because Dennis is deceptively tall as well. So that'll really work.
Yeah, that would work so well. Okay. This is going to be interesting. All right. If you're keen, let us know. We'll see if we can make this happen. It'll take us a bit of time to plan this shit and make it work. Oh, Nudes has gone Brendan as Vader. That'd be interesting.
Vader time. Yeah.
Vader time. Oh, man. I wouldn't even know. Yeah, fuck. You're going back through time now. There's a lot to play with in this space. So this would be cool. All right.
You know what would be cool too? We just get the audience to collectively throw their glasses on the ground and play the Austin music. Yeah.
Oh,
wow. Would hate us, but.
Oh wow. Okay, Sally's gone Fozzy for Andrew. Maybe that'd be not bad. You could do the Fozzy stuff too. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we could do. You could do Judas. You could do Cult of Personality. You could do. Yeah. You can play Ruby Soho by Rancid now.
Yeah, there's a fair bit. Even like I would go back to Across the Nation from the Union Underground too. That opening theme song for Raw was cool. So there's a lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
Yep. Daniel's gone, harsh would be cheesy as shit songs. You're so embarrassed to play for us to go out, then smash the middle numbers for yourself. And that's what it'd be too. Like we wouldn't be afraid to take the piss. Like it'd be a shit show. So it'd be a lot of fun.
Well, we'd suck anyway, so what's the difference?
Yeah, well, that's it. It's not like we're going to get together and jam this thing out for 6 months to make it fucking tough. We're going to do a couple of practices and then go fuck it. So we'll see what happens with this space. Andrew Marshall has gone definitely keen for rock and wrestling. Okay, cool. Benjamin's gone underpants or jockstrap on your head. Yeah, Vader. For Vader. The underpants or jockstrap on your head. That'd be the costume for Vader. What were you saying?
This is actually a great segue for the next band.
It is actually. But quickly, Nudes has gone. Still got my wrestling tights if you need them. Okay. I'm sure there's a backstory. I'll have to get you to talk about that for us.
Yeah, Nudes used to wrestle in Adelaide.
Oh, wow. Okay. I did not know that. Nice.
There you go.
Cool. And Benjamin's gone, well, it is Halloween, so yes, that is true. But also Jake the Snake. Who among us can be Jake the Snake, do you reckon?
Ooh, who among us can do the most drugs?
Okay. Good point. Good point. I'm ruling myself out of that one right now. But yeah, all right. Well, you did mention a segue, so let's do it. Let's get on to the next review. Keep them coming, guys. Give us your thoughts as we go along. That's going to be a conversation that writes itself as we go through it. But in the comments and in the post, check out the latest from Every Time I Die. The track I've chosen is the video that dropped a couple of days ago now. This is Thing with Feathers. So the band is Every Time I Die. The track is Thing with Feathers. And we're going to talk about the new album right now. Oh, hang on. Before we do, Andrew says Dennis should be Jake the Snake. That'd be another good crossover there too, probably. So it's a possibility there. All right. Anyway, Every Time I Die with Radical, 16 tracks for 51 minutes, the 9th studio album from the American band, released October 2021 via Epitaph Records. Produced by Will Putney. The band originally began working on this back in 2019 and they were waiting until they were able to tour it before they went and released it, which is now the case. There's a few singles because I've been sort of staggering things out from this one, but the singles in this include Postmortem and A Colossal Wreck. We haven't really covered this band a lot on the show. When I saw this was dropping, Tim was very, very keen to get on this one straight away. So with that said, over to you, my friend. What are your thoughts on this one?
All right. So if you don't know the segue, the guitarist is the Butcher in AEW, Andy Williams.
Mm-hmm.
With his great mustache. But I was so fucking keen for this album, and it delivered for me anyway.
Yep.
Right up my alley. It's very much on the heavier side of metalcore, very syncopated, groovy, heavier, rhythmic stuff. But at the same time, there's also got one foot, I think, in a lot of modern hardcore bands like the Cancer Bats and Under Oath, and there's a little touch of like Dillinger Escape Plan in there. But I mean, like for a lot of dudes in this show, like I mean, if you're not into like that heavy screaming stuff, I would look into, there's actually plenty of songs in here that you can segue into. Like, I mean, songs like White Void and Thing with Feathers and all that are a good dip your toe in the water for this kind of a band.
Yeah, yep.
If you like that, then check out the rest of it, because I think the rest of it kills. I think this is like a wonderful blend of aggression. The lyrics are fucking fantastic.
Yeah, no, lyrics are good.
All over this thing. I mean, absolutely perfect for this day and age. I don't like bands that get timid and shy away from things, and these guys just attack it with full force.
Yep.
I really struggle to fold. It's one of my absolute favorite releases of the year. Look, and I'm like, I feel sorry because I'm looking at my top 10s for the end of the year, and you kind of roughly get grips, but like, there's going to be a lot of Australian bands that struggle to get in, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I think there's one for me that's definitely going to get in.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
But I mean, at the start of the year, by the time we got to July, there was probably 3 or 4 that probably get in. They usually have 3 or 4 in there, but this time around, because Every Time I Die, I've just released another one, it's going to be hard to keep out. And I think it's an absolute stunning album. I think from start to finish, takes you on a journey, and it's a great album to listen to if you're a bit pissed off with the world. So I loved it. 9.5 out of 10. Postmortem, Planet Shit, Thing with Feathers, and White Void were my highlights. And it's just an absolute glorious album. I think it's the best album of their career.
Wow. Okay.
And and every time I see the name, Every Time I Die, for some reason I think of Human Nature.
That's not the segue I thought you closed on there, but all right, I get it. I fully get it.
Every time you cry.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. Fucking hell. That'll be about the first time that's been done on the show. Well done, Tim. Now, you're right when you said this is much more your wheelhouse. It's definitely more your wheelhouse than mine. It is that metalcore kind of thing, but there's a lot, and I mean a lot more to it than that as well. So if hearing the term metalcore puts you off, don't let it, because these guys, even in the description of this band, like you do digging on this sort of stuff, and they get called anything from metalcore to southern rock. And this album kind of does showcase a lot of their diversity. I'm not really listened to the band before much. I'm completely new to this. But this is a wild and diverse little ride. For what they do, they're very good. Like the composition, the execution, the production. Like there's a lot more to this in production. Like the actual use of panning was stunning on this for an album that's so intense and so aggressive. The depth and attention given to the production, little details. Like I was saying, the panning of things was, you had hard panning on stuff that's going off its fucking tits. And that was actually refreshing, because so much of this stuff is just meant to be just blasting you. Whereas this actually had a 3D space to it, which is just fucking stunning. And they didn't clip it, which I was stunned by. Like all this sort of stuff is clipped all the time, and they didn't do it. So if you're going to do this style of music, listen to this production, because it's fucking bang on. Like this sounds great, just from a pure execution point. There's stuff in this that just hits and fucking swings hard, like a Colossal Wreck just fucking smacks you in the head. Desperate Pleasures is almost like a Rage Against the Machine kind of vibe, more in the lyrics than the music, which is where you were talking about the lyric writing before. I think the song, that aspect of what they do, the intensity they deliver, not only musically but also with the lyrics, is fucking great. But then you get these really cool sort of almost hard rock songs, like so. With Feathers Thing with Feathers is not probably the single best representation of what this album is all about. It's just because it's the newest single that I dropped it there. But it's got a groove, it's got a hook, and that's where there's a good handful of these songs have that impact. There's groove, this rock element that they've got, and use of melody and stuff. And there's other things too, like Planet Shit, which has like a modern punk thing with almost the poppy kind of chorus going on too. So they use melody that Clean Singing is on as well. Like all these things, it's such a melting pot. For the 50 minutes this goes for, you get a lot. I'm glad it doesn't go for longer than that. Not because it was bad, but because it's like there's a lot to take in. And you wouldn't want to go for like an hour plus on this stuff. It'd be too taxing. Usually this style of music irks me somewhat because I don't get into it that much. I find it hard. But this one, there's something about it that's different. And I don't quite know what to put my finger on in that regard. But the writing is just, it's because I think there's a little bit more melody to it than a lot of the other ones have, where it's not just screaming for the sake of it all the fucking time kind of thing. They actually have a lot of diversity, a lot of talent on display. They're tight. They're really good at what they do. And knowing when not to overdo it is important for this style of music. And these guys have that down pat. So as I think about it now, that's probably what it is. They don't overdo anything on this one. Not production, not writing, not performance, the whole lot. It's all, they know when to step back from the edge. And just they ride it, but they know when to not go over it. And that's really important for this style of music. I think they've done a really good job. I think White Void on this one is one that anyone can enjoy. It's a good hard rock song, leans into the melody and that sort of stuff, but it's got almost a Deftones touch in this. As I'm saying, there's a lot going on in this record. So if you want something that's diverse, different, aggressive, and all those things that we're talking about, then yeah, this is one definitely you should get onto. If not, it's not going to be for everyone. It's going to be purely taste-driven. But just on execution, for me, it's actually a lot more interesting and engaging, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought, especially like you put a couple of tracks on, you go, okay, cool, I'll come back to it. Then you put your first pass on, you're like, oh, hang on, there's a lot. Then you go to your full-blown deep listen, it's like, oh, wow, okay, there's a bit to this, and I want to check out more. Not going to be a go-to for me, but it is something that it's like, okay, if this comes on, I go, okay, this is pretty cool. So I didn't mind it. I actually gave it an 8 out of 10, which I don't know if you were expecting that, but yeah, that's where I ended up landing with it because it was really well done. White Void, Thing with Feathers, and Post Boredom were my standouts on this one, but yeah, it's a very different album. So there you go with it. As the rain comes pounding down here and the lightning's going nuts out there. I don't know what it's like for you, Tim, but for me, the weather is well and truly kicked in. So there we go.
We had a massive storm pass over about 6 o'clock for about half an hour. It's been pretty quiet up until then. After that.
Yeah, this is like the third or fourth dose of decent rain I've copped over this way, but we're in different sides of town. So we'll see what happens. But
look, Daniel, to be perfectly honest though, like with a band like Every Time I Die,
yeah,
I fully believe that if you present excellent heavy metal to anyone, they'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I really love heavy metal. I love the screaming. I love it. And I think when you do it at a top level, people will enjoy it. And Every Time I Die, and this album in particular, is in that category.
I think that you're right on that, but also the fact that they've written songs on here that can be for anyone. So even if you don't like one track, skip to the next one, and you'll find a good 3 or 4 or 5 tracks on the 16 here that you're actually going to enjoy. So I think there's a bit going on with this one that'll get people more. It'll drag more. I think it'll hook more than it'll lose, if that makes sense. There's something here for pretty much everyone. At least a couple of tracks, at least. Okay, it's all good. Daniel says, not sure what I think, guys. Kind of like Queens of Stone Age rapes Placebo and had a Bizarro son that I kind of like. It's an interesting album. It's one of those ones you have to sit with it a bit, I think. It's not one of those ones, if you're not familiar with the band, you want to take some time with this one to make it make sense to you, kind of thing. But if you give it a deep listen, I think it's rewarding, personally. Onto the weather side of things, it's happening everywhere. Nicole's gone having to duck out because of the storms up here. Sorry, I don't have to apologise for ducking out. That's all good. But you're up north, so you're copping it up there. Sally's just gone, yep, the sky just let us have it here. I did get the severe weather warning about 2 hours ago. We got the severe weather warning, but fuck, man, it's pounding out there now. I'm seeing lightning flashes all through the room here, Tim, so I'm seeing lightning flashes all out the window there. And Nudes over in South Australia saying it's storming over there too. I saw the rain radar showing it all coming across from the west, so bloody hell. I don't know if anyone can hear it coming through my microphone, but it's fucking.
I can hear it. I can hear it now.
Yeah, it's pounding.
It's faint through the microphone, but it's there.
Yeah, I'm lucky it's a directional microphone. If the power goes out, I'm lucky because the camera's charged, the mic will work because the laptop's running. So I'll just turn the phone torch on and I'll keep pushing through because I'm on the 4G anyway. But all right. Let's get on to let's finish this up and get on to our throwback or classic review. So my reference track for you is going into the comments now, and it's in the description of the post if you want to check it out. This is a band called Mortal Sin. For the international viewers, this might not come to you very quickly, but for the Aussie followers of ours, this would be a band that you will know. This is Mortal Sin. The song I've chosen is Lebanon. So that's where we are in this one. So Mortal Sin is the band. Lebanon is the track. It's a long one. It's an epic on the album that we're talking about now. So we're going to go to our main event of the evening tonight, which is Mortal Sin, Mayhemic Destruction. 8 tracks for 36 minutes. The debut album, the Australian band, released 1986 via Mega Metal Productions, self-financed and produced with help from John Darwich. This was recorded in about 3 days and went on to be re-released overseas in 1987 via Vertigo. This band is always popular amongst the fan base for us here at home and was voted in by our Patreon supporters as the retro or classic review for this week. So if you want to get involved in that, just for $2 a month, then jump onto our Patreon page, get involved in the polling, and let us know what classic album you'd like to do in those things. But anyway, Tim, this is one of the ones that excited you last Monday when we were talking about doing this one tonight. So what are your thoughts?
Who doesn't love Mortal Sin?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, so, it's been interesting with this band. Oh, yeah, they're just a classic thrash band. And this is from that era, too, where, I mean, so often nowadays we think of heavy metal as being this sort of virtuoso thing, right?
Yeah.
When you listen to these guys, what they're playing is so simple, but so effective.
Yep. And
it's just a lesson in using the right notes for maximum effect.
Yep.
And trial and error, figuring out what works, and it's just a thing of beauty. The lyrics are fantastic. The vocals are great. Like the way it's put together. And I mean, you got to remember too. This is 1986. We're still figuring out how to record heavy guitars and heavy drums at this point, and how to make them sound good. And when all things considered, this thing sounds fantastic still in 2021. But I think what I was going to say is, I mean, it's been interesting for me going back and listening to a lot of Australian music from sort of pre-1995, because, I mean, that in 1986, I mean, the Australian music industry is barely a decade old at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Right? And for a lot of the more popular Australian bands, they're throwing stuff against the wall, and there's some really good ones, and there's some that, let's face it, when you look back 40 years, like in hindsight, you can see why they didn't make it, respectfully.
Yeah, I agree, because
you take a band like Mortal Sin.
Yeah, there's a live set on this album. They don't. A lot of these ones don't make the cut in the live set from 1990.
Exactly. But I mean, I was going to say, you take a band like Mortal Sin, 1986, and you compare them to other thrash bands from 1986, these guys are just as good, if not better than all of them.
Yep.
With very, very few exceptions.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, when you get talking about 1986, it's like there's Master of Puppets and Raining Blood and all that. But I mean, you telling me this album is not better than Voivod or Destruction or Creator or any of these kinds of bands? These guys smoke them all. And between Mortal Sin and Hobbs Angel with Death, I think, we've always had great heavy metal in Australia, and, there's always been, some old thrash bands flying the flag. And Mortal Sin, these guys are fantastic. This album always gets a kick from me, and I enjoy it every single time. Blood, Death, Hatred is my highlight. I think it's a 9 out of 10. I think this is an Australian music classic.
Nice. All right. Why'd you give it a 9?
Yeah. Okay,
cool. If you like Kill 'Em All from Metallica, you're going to like this one. That's the entry point you need to know. It's classic Aussie thrash. It's a little bit rough around the edges, but I don't mind that because, like you're saying, everyone's still learning this shit back then. And the performances are good on this one. It's a solid album. Like, I do think there are some weaker spots on this one that shows why they didn't, make it to the later cut. I think that I'll get to that in a second. But like, I think that the album that came after this is a much better representation.
It's a better album,
yeah. At the peak of its powers. This one's still a good thing, and you can tell that it was meant to be a demo, and that's not meant to be a disrespectful thing at all. I actually think it's a credit to them because they did it they smashed it out in a few days. The rumor is they recorded it in 3 days, mixed it in 40 hours, kind of thing, and it was meant to be a demo to shop around, not meant to be actually an album, so to speak. And for what you've got with that background being in place, you got a really good fucking listen here. And like I said, for this to be the precursor to the album that comes next, it's fucking great to have this one. If you like anything from the 80s at all, it's thrash based, you're going to get a kick out of this one. It's got the vintage tones and style. Like you said, nothing over the top, but I liked how the bass was used on this one. How the bass really filled things out and sort of kept the groove going, but also went with the riff, but against the riff at the same time. And they did really nice things in that regard. There was nothing overly complicated here, but that's what you said before about how knowing what not to do versus trying too hard and going for broke kind of thing was it showed a bit of maturity, which was cool. And I enjoyed that on a debut kind of release. Performances are great. The writing is solid. It's like I said, Face of Despair is better, but this is really damn solid. I think that like when I was making notes, I had more critiques than I'm really wanting to go on about because it's one of those things where, like, if you listen to it through today's eyes kind of things, I jump back to Kill 'Em All because that's my closest sort of reference point to this album, just on sonics and style and that sort of stuff. But if you like metal at all and you want to go back to the vintage of where it all sort of begins for Australia, this band and this album is one of those foundational points. And without this, we wouldn't have so many other bands that have gone and kicked goals out of this country. Tim TC made a good comment about the album cover just now too, and I think the album artwork is fucking fantastic. It's a good, solid album. Do I think there was always room for improvement? Like I said, you got to take into account that it was done as a 3-day thing, meant to be a demo, not meant to be released as an album. And I don't think it was meant to be shopped as someone to get international release either. But they went from this, did the other album, they did a whole lot of great things on the back of this. Their career went pretty bloody well for as long as it go for. And like I said, we've got Hobbs, Angel of Death out of this outfit as well. So, we've got all these crossover points. This band and the history of it all is really important, if nothing else. And like I said, the only downside to me is that, you go on the bonus edition that's online now, you got all the live tracks, and only a couple of these songs made it on there. But having an epic on there in Lebanon was a really nice touch. And it's funny that when I was going through videos, the track Lebanon, it was in the live set, but that's the first video I found that was to do with this album as well. So that song has stood the test of time, which is interesting in that the band's demo, the longest song on it, the epic, is the one that has stood the test of time the most. So that to me is pretty cool. Women and Weather Women in Leather. Sorry, Weather is what's happening up here. Women in Leather is probably the close follow up to that, in terms of what people know about it and stuff like that, and how popular it is. But for me, I also liked Liar and Mayhemic Destruction. Like, those were cool, as well as Into the Fire. So I went for more of the deeper cuts. So my standouts were Into the Fire, Liar, and Mayhemic Destruction. I thought it was a really good, solid album. Just like I said, you can tell it was a bit rough around. I don't hold it against it, but I'm not going to go nuts on the score because there are some things there to be cleaned up. But at the same time, in terms of what it was competing against at the time, this was well and truly up there. So it was, yeah, it's not going to be a Master of Puppets, which I would give a much, much higher score than this. But that said, for the next tier down from that, yeah, this smokes the next tier down by a fair stretch. So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. And like I said, Into the Fire, Liar, and Mayhemic Destruction were standouts on this one. Very good, solid record, and it's a great beginning for this band too. And if you haven't heard Faces of Despair, go and check that out. You must listen to that album because that is classic, all-time Aussie thrash for mine. Got some comments going through. So Nicole said about the weather up there, 26 degrees, no rain, just lightning and thunder. So yep, that's up there. It's a bit different. Yeah. But Daniel's gone, don't need to watch that, but I fucking will. See ya. Okay. Lee said, every time I die, Virgin. Listen to the album today and liked it. Keen to explore the catalog. So there we go. That's good. And then back onto this one, TC has gone, this album is a thrash masterpiece, and he was one that's been pushing for this one for a while on the Patreon vote. So that's what got it over there too. So very well done. News says, when I first started guitar, I was told to listen to lots of different music. I picked up Mortal Sin, Roxette, and New Kids on the Block. Guy at the counter at the record store said, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's a cool cross-section, man. Well done. Sally says, always sell a thrash sound, makes me feel old. This one does take you right back to the heyday of this stuff. And like I was saying before, Tim also said, album cover on this one is awesome. Daniel said, loved it as always. TC says, you appreciate how good this album is as you get older and look back on it and realize how incredible it is. Like I was saying, for a debut, this is pretty fucking good. And Andrew Marshall has gone, just lost internet thanks to the lightning. Hope my camera caught it now on mobile. Okay. Hope your camera caught it too, because you got some good shots with the lightning stuff there too. So hopefully you did get that one. Good luck. But that brings us to the end of the reviews. Sorry?
Thunder's just kicked off here as well. So
okay. Yeah, no, it's going nuts here now, mate. So I saw the whole storm front was moving pretty quickly across the state today, and it's going gangbusters out there now. I've seen the flashes constantly, and I can hear the thunder rolling all the time. I don't know if it's coming through at all, but it's going nuts. It hasn't stopped. So it's having a bit of fun out here near the airport. So we'll see how that goes with things in due course. But yeah, that's the last of the reviews, and that takes us sort of toward the finish line of tonight's broadcast. A big shout out to our fantastic Patreon supporters. So TC, Tim Skatis, and you're here tonight with us. Lee McDonald, you're here with us as well. Same with Sonia Dolabella, 16x9, Beck Mitchell, Carolyn Mallet, Jason Winch, Marty Powell, Sam Biondo, Trash Vegas, Andrew Heyman, our own Brendan, Daniel Bateman, thank you for joining us tonight as well. Gwyneth Richards and the Mann family. We had a few people join us tonight from the Patreon crew, which is greatly, greatly appreciated. Love your support. Thank you for doing that for us. And if you want to get involved in just giving us a help out and get involved in voting and all that sort of stuff, just jump in. It's just like $2 a month. If you can do that, you're going to get like a daily newsletter, which gives you like 50 pieces of information a week or more, a whole bunch of new music to check out. So just give us a couple bucks a month. The more people that do that, the better off we're going to be. So help us out in that regard if you can. The link to check out our Patreon page is in the description of this episode or post, wherever it is, as we go through it. Also, I'm going to shout out to our Hot Rockin' playlist on Spotify, which I'm going to put in the comments now. So check this out in the comments. It's our Spotify playlist for Hot Rock, and that's where we've got like 16 followers on this playlist. Let's try and boost it up a bit more because that's where we put like the new stuff that comes through the inbox and that. So please do check out and follow that playlist if you are on Spotify. It will greatly help us out too with a few different things going on. But that kind of gets us toward the end of things. Got a few comments here. We're back again on Monday with another stream. Not quite sure what we're doing yet because I've got to go count the votes of what happened in the lounge for the weekly episode kind of thing. But just quickly going back to the comments here, Nudes has gone, Andrew, how does dog handle the storm? Caesar, Nala doesn't care. She sleeps or anything. Caesar, depending on how tense he is in general, can be interesting. So if I'm around, he's I don't know what he's like at the moment because I'm not inside the house. I mean, he tends to go a bit different when I'm not there. But wind can set him off a bit, and storms aren't too bad. Most of the time, they tend to sleep through it, so they're not too bad. They're pretty calm with that sort of stuff. He's more stressed about human interaction than what nature does to him. But, yeah, you've got a rescue as well, Tim. How does yours go?
Shakes like a leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not. Yeah.
Yeah. Some don't like it much. We're lucky that
he just stops and just stands there breathing. Yeah.
No, ours, if he was in here, he might growl and bark a bit, but he's actually pretty chill. So we're pretty lucky in that regard. But I've had dogs before that don't like him, and it's an interesting one to try and work him out of it. But yeah, hopefully yours hasn't gotten any better over the years, Tim, with it. Just kept same old, same old.
Storms is just one of those things because they don't really happen that often.
Yeah.
And it's generally a pretty quiet neighborhood anyway, so it doesn't really have to deal with loud noises usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got planes. We're in a flight path here, so yeah, I suppose that maybe desensitized Caesar a little bit to it all. I don't know, but yeah, don't know. But yeah, he goes all right. So for what it's worth, he's doing okay. Like I said, I'm not inside, but if there was a problem, I'd be sure to know about it because Jody and Zach had let me know pretty quickly if there was an issue to go and resolve. So yeah, it's all good. Dean says, surprised you guys haven't lost connection yet with all the thunderstorms around. I'm surprised as well, but that's why I connect every time to my phone, to the Wi-Fi inside, because that just doesn't work for me. So I use 4G connection for this stuff. It's more reliable than the NBN, so work that out. How's that? Vodafone beats the NBN, so that works better for me. Daniel says...
NBN just depends on where you are. Like I got a great NBN connection here.
In Cranbourne, it was great. Cranbourne worked fine when I was living there.
Yeah.
Over this side, it's pointless. I don't know. Anyway, Daniel says, rock on, drink up, stay safe. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. And like I said before, thank you for the support. What else? Side note, Lee says, for Mortal Sin, former drummer Steve Hughes' stand-up comedy is worth exploring. Definitely is. And so is his solo album. His last one was, what was last year, was it, Tim?
Yeah, last year. Alone But for the Breath of Beasts.
Yeah, that's fucking good.
Excellent album.
Yes. You and I both loved that one. That was really, really good. So yeah, check out that if you haven't already. Please do. And he did everything on that. He did guitars, vocals, drums, work. So,
you learned how to play guitar to record guitar for it.
Yeah, fucking crazy. Like, full blown. His comedy is good. Solo album though is fucking mint. So yeah, get onto that one. Nicole's gone, hoping I did Spotify correctly. Well, we'll soon find out, but thank you for trying anyway. All you have to do is hit the link and then just hit the like or follow button, whatever it presents as on Spotify. But yes, thank you for doing that for us. And she's also said, found my dog was better sitting outside with him during storms, lived next to a RAF base and the planes and just never bothered him. Yeah, it's interesting that, how they respond to different things. Caesar, if I take him out into it, if he's with me and he goes into the thing that makes him uncomfortable, he tends to get over it relatively quickly. He's just got this thing where if I'm there, he's okay. If I'm not there, he tends to go a bit different. So it's an interesting one. Okay. Andrew's gone, my python fell off her branch. Okay. Wow. Hopefully
Andrew has a pet snake.
Yeah, yes. And the photos are cool of that too. They're very cool. But yeah, hopefully she's all right. Yeah, but snakes are pretty hardy anyway, so they're all right. And Dean said, yep, with Vodafone too, I noticed that where I live. So yeah, it must be something different with Vodafone. That used to be really shitty, or bad reputation anyway. Now they seem to be doing a bit better, so I don't know. But anyway, that gets us toward anything. So I guess make sure, like I was saying, you follow, like, subscribe. All the details, follow us, are in the post of this episode, wherever you're watching. If you're tuning in later on, not watching it live with us now, then thank you for joining us, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave us your thoughts and your comments and all sorts of stuff as you go through. Even if you're not live with us, we always like hearing from you. And a big thank you, of course, to our fantastic sponsors in Squidding, Shrimp Printing, Alt Cult, and Rockstar Finance. Their details, just like ours, are in the post or the description. Please find them, give them a follow, show them just a little bit of love for the help they give us here. And like I was saying, if you want to help us out, check out our Patreon page. For just a couple of bucks a month, you can get a lot of content out of that. So just jump in, see what you can do in that regard. It'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. We're going to do a big drive on that very, very soon, I think. But with all those things said, make sure you check us out on Thursday nights at 10 p.m. on Channel 44 in Adelaide local time. Thursday nights, so that's tonight, about half an hour from now. And also, check us out Saturday nights on 10:30 p.m. Channel 31 in Melbourne and Geelong. Their live stream platform back again as of, I think it's already back up and running. So this Saturday night, it'll be online again for everyone to watch us. And if you're in Adelaide or want to watch something different for a half hour, 10:30 p.m. local time in Adelaide on Sunday night, Halloween night, we're doing a half-hour little slot on that platform as well. So go and check us out over there as well. And our next live stream will be on Monday night, which I said we'll get to very, very soon. But for now, that's all the housekeeping taken care of. Let's get to the bin. So, Tim, we did the clip show before. You had to put something in the bin. So now what have you got for us this time around? Because I'm going to double up. It was that annoying. But, yeah, what do you got?
I was actually going to bin the weather, to be perfectly honest with you. Because here's the thing. I quite like the cold, personally.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I don't mind the heat. It's just that when it's been 15 degrees for 4 or 5 months, as we did here down here in Melbourne, 28 feels like a lot at that point.
It's a big jump. Yeah, the 10-degree
it's
drop.
a big. Exactly, and then when it's then we get like weather like it was this morning, where we just had this storm, and then it's cloudy, and it's just fucking hot and muggy. I hate muggy weather. Just shit.
Yeah, humidity kills me.
Humidity is the worst, man. An absolute worst. Especially, I need a haircut too. Lockdown hair is just killing me. So
you can get one now.
Yeah, I can. Have you tried to get a haircut now?
No. Do I look like I try to get haircuts?
Oh man, it's like a 40-minute wait, hour wait.
Yeah,
just to be shit like a sheep.
Wow. You don't want to get the clippers yourself?
I could, but yeah. Where's the fun in that?
Yeah, true.
But no, like just shitty, just shitty weather and shitty temperature drops. So let's just nice, consistent, steady rise, and we can all get used to it and enjoy it. Or just be cold the whole year round, and I'll be happy.
Yeah. Well, you're not gonna get consistent in Melbourne ever. I'll tell you that right now.
That's true.
It's never gonna be consistent down here. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else you wanted to put?
No, not really. Like I said, I guess in the last stream, I've been in a great mood lately. Everyone's been in a great mood lately. Nothing's really like everyone's living their best life at the moment. We were out of lockdown. Feels like everyone's had their weight lifted off them, or at least the people I've been counted. So I hope everyone's doing okay and everyone is able to see their families and friends, especially coming into Christmas. I hope everyone stays safe. But yeah, look, for the most part, the world's all right at the moment. At least in my own little bubble.
Yep. Here to all that. Make sure you stay safe out there. I'm going to actually change my mind on my bin last minute. I was going to bin the driving, but I got that one on the TV cut. So watch us on Saturday night if you want to see that. But I do it every year at this time of year. People who don't like Halloween, get in there. It's a bit of fun. It's harmless, and I reckon it's great, especially this year. I think it's probably really important to get the kids out and about and just sort of do something a bit more fun, and it'll be a good reward for the shit show of the last couple of years. Because last time around, the Halloween thing was literally just maybe have, a bowl of lollies out your front. And we'll probably still have things outside, but at least people will be able to walk up near the doorstep as opposed to being on the fucking nature strip and that sort of stuff. So I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing a lot of kids out there. I've seen people with decorations up for most of the month already, which is awesome. We've been putting ours up too. So I love this time of year. I think it's fantastic. It's more about getting the kids something to do at this point in time. So if you're a Grinch about Halloween this year in particular, get in the bin. Just let the kids have some fun. It's they've more than earned it with the shit they've gone through for the last 18 and 24 months for mine. So that's it. Stay safe, have fun out there, do all the right things, and we'll be okay soon enough. But just, look after each other and just, do nice things amongst the community. That's what I think Halloween's about. For me, it's about, doing some nice things for the community. Put the decorations out, have the kids have some fun. I love it. So it's good for mine. But got a few things here. So Snowmo left. I think when Andrew said my python fell off a branch, he goes, sounds like a euphemism. So that's
why I clarified.
Yes, this is true. Nicole says, thanks for another entertaining night. Stay safe over the long weekend. Yes, we'll be doing everything down here that we need to stay safe. Like, you can do stuff, but I think we're still working our way out of not being in a weird mood about that sort of stuff too. So for me anyway, it's a bit of a different trip. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Dean says, bin for me, thunderstorms. Really hate them even as a kid. Wow, man. That sucks. I love storms, man. I used to go running around in the fucking lightning and the rain and fucking carrying like a nutcase in storms. Always loved them. So yeah, I do feel for those that are afraid of them because I fucking love them. When we're talking about hair, Sally says she cuts her own. So well done. You're braver than I am because I ain't going fucking near my hair with scissors. But Tim, apparently yours looks good. So there you go. Your hair looks good, Tim. So that's a win. Dean says, Melbourne weather, sunny and hot at 2 p.m. By 4 p.m, lightning and thunderstorms in the bin. Yeah, Melbourne's weather is fucking crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And Dean says, Halloween for the young kids. I love seeing the kids in the street with so much joy in their faces. And that's the thing for me too. So, yeah, that's definitely what it's all about for mine. But is there anything else you wanted to add here before we get out of here, Tim? Or are you all done? We wrapped up.
Yeah, I think we're good.
We're good?
I'm looking forward to tomorrow. There's a lot of albums coming out.
Yeah, let us know what you're listening to. If you're tuning in now or later on, let us know what you listen to over the weekend because there's a huge release list. And like I was saying, in the links, there's a link to our Facebook lounge, the THRS lounge on Facebook, our group. Get in there and check out the releases that are due tomorrow or in a few hours because it's fucking bonkers. The last sort of 8 weeks of this year are going to be absolutely nuts. Probably, no, actually closer to the next 4 weeks to 6 weeks.
The next 4 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, next 4 weeks in particular are going to be fucking bonkers. But yeah, I think that'll do us for now. We'll get out of here. Thank you everyone for joining us. Hopefully you've had a good night, and whether you're tuning in now or later on, thank you for your time. We do appreciate your company. Hopefully we've made this one as entertaining for you as possible, especially the wrestling stuff earlier on too. That was a bit of fun. But I think that will do us for now. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you all again very, very soon. Until next time, though, I'm Andrew.
Tim.
As always,
drink up
and rock on.